Good evening. Welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. I'm Laz, your usually not too couth host. I know I started a few seconds early, but I need to get my rubber gloves on. See, another one to go. I'm going to get my gloves on, so got a chance to pop in if you've not popped in yet. The second one, I am wearing big thick gloves today because while I was very silly. Protective gear is needed if you're going to be doing essentially manual stuff with MDF. In this case, I was sanding it, I was sawing it, and obviously MDF just leaves little tiny particles, and because of that I've ended up with blisters all over the back of my hand. So I'm wearing gloves tonight, which is good. Definitely a good idea. So good evening to everybody who's joined us. Tonight we are looking at doing some more of these. Now, I took him off the cardboard base and put him on, as I said, I was making some MDF bases myself, so that's why he's on this base and not the cardboard base I was on last time. But yeah, this chappy, we will be with the hammer and the shield and the flamey back and the backpack and everything. We'll be doing 9 more. As you can see, I've already got them glued together all here waiting, and I've got the bear and the other Terminator as my template of how to do it and which colours to use where. But I do have to base these things. Good evening, Ali. Good evening. How are you today? I hope you've had a good week, a good weekend. I hope you've had a good weekend. Well, they're not exactly new gloves. They are what I usually use when I'm using the my airbrush, so it doesn't get sprayed everywhere. But yeah, this time I've done it because, well, I'm an idiot, and I've got blisters all over my hands now because I didn't wear them when I should have. So first of all, we need to base coat these guys. I've got 9 of them to base coat, and of course, as normal, the base coat is black, which I'm still using, and it's lasting ages. That one, I've got to say, it is taking a while to use up that base coat. So we shall get back. So I'll get one of the awkward ones first. That might fall off because he's actually only pinned up. He's actually only glued down on 1 foot because he's running. He is quite literally charging at you. Good evening, Twisted. Good evening. How are you? I know you've been working on quite a few things, as particularly that base. That base is looking good. And I don't know, I'll say that probably every week when Twisted comes in, Twisted's base are looking good. No, we're not in trouble anymore. Once I've painted these black, we'll go through that. We'll go through what I got from Graham, along with the hammers and shields, because I wanted the hammers and shields. But I did get some other things as well, in some animals and some specific. I'm catching the camera with brush there, sorry. And some specific stands for one of my most annoying models to actually get on the stand. And I keep catching this. I'm going to have to move the camera again in a minute. I'm going to have to bring it out a bit. Good evening, Lee. And Jake. These are going to be Loyalist. Again, I'm moving my camera a minute because I keep catching it with my paintbrush. So just bear with me a second. There we go. No, these are going to be Loyalist. So I have 15 Terminators with the bolter and Star Bolter and Power Fist or Power Sword for the Sergeants, but they're all the range variants. I've never had the Assault Terminators. However, there is a site which is linked in the description called Rogues Den Hobbies that sell a game agnostic, like, guys in power armor. Now, although these are supposed to be the equivalent of a stand. If you're going to use them as proxies for Warhammer 40,000, these size ones are supposed to be the size of a standard intercessor. They do sell bigger ones. But when I got these, I realized they're actually the same size as Terminators. So I did a bit of tinkering about with the weapons pack that I got with it and found that the hammers and shields look absolutely freaking awesome. So I ordered more hammers and shields from Rogues Den Hobbies instead of putting the missile launchers on them that I was going to in the first place. I'm going to have to go find some actual intercessors and just convert them into Desolation Marines. So these are going to be my Assault Terminators. And as it is a custom chapter, it's going to have to be... See, I still want to be Stone Dragons because I am a Salamander's successor, technically. Or the Aris Salamander's successor, should I say. But I have a big bear, as you can see right there. I have a great big whopping bear, and these are called Space Bears if you buy them from the range. So I might turn them into the Stone Bears instead of Stone Dragons. I'm still debating on that. But yeah, these look absolutely cool as far as Assault Terminators go. So I've chose these instead of... Well, they've not actually brought the range out yet, have they? I don't think they have. If they have, it's completely passed me by and I've missed that one. Because I know they redid the standard Terminators in the Leviathan box set, which is why I have more. Thanks to the Combat Patrol magazine and picking up the Leviathan box set. In fact, two halves of it when it comes to Tyranid. So I've got 2 Screamer Killers and 2 Neuro Tyrants. But not a single Hive Tyrant, which is frustrating. I would like a Hive Tyrant. But that is in the future. That is far in the future. Karma is doing all right. I believe he's helping Numptit with the cake business, which I believe is going well. I hope it's going well. I want them still in being business when I want to get a cake from them. So, base coating. Oh, it's absolutely well, it's not chucking down, but it started raining, Ali. So I'm guessing it's stopped raining near you because it's moved over to me now. I would have guessed you got it earlier on today or late last night, if at all, actually. This is a bit I've got to be careful with because I've already broken 2 hammers and I had to fix them. I have noticed that is the difference between resin and GW plastic. Resin it's a little more fragile, let's say. So you do have to be a little bit more careful with it. But it's also quite easily fixable. Bit of super glue, pin it in, done. Just got to make sure I get all the areas in there. I've managed to do both halves of the Leviathan box. I do have, I think it's still about 20 Terminants, some Von Lines Leapers, and some Wing Primes to convert into Warriors. So I still have plenty to go, but I've got well over a 2,000 point army now. Don't get me wrong, the Norns help out with that a lot. Having 2 of them in there, 2 Norns and then 2 Screamer Killers does give you a big boost in points. And not necessarily a value for points, but they certainly make sure you get enough points on the table. Make sure I get in the tenderize a bit. Getting underneath his head and neck. So, I mean, I can come back and do contrast paint. Pardon me, sorry. Yeah, use contrast paint just to make sure I get into the crevices. But I'd like to use just normal paint first if I can. And I can see the inside of your shield where I've missed. So thank you very much for joining us, Jake and Ali and Twisted. And great. Speaking of the devil, for those of you who are unaware, Graham is the one who runs Rogue's Den Hobbies. So it is Graham. That is who I got all this off. As I said, the description for that website is in the... Sorry, the link for that website is in the description below. Or it should be. If it's not working, somebody let me know. But yeah, me and Graham are not in trouble as long as I don't buy anything else. I'm getting really dodgy looks of Sparkles there going, yeah, if you buy anything else, I think the wedding's going off. I've just had something pop up on the screen, and I don't know if that's actually coming from where it's actually coming from. So I'm just going to have a quick check, because that is an odd one. That has just popped up out of nowhere, and I don't know where it is, but it was Al Graham. So we shall have a look. That's not a bad warlock, that Graham. That's not a bad warlock at all. Where should be? I should be in OBS. That's where I should be. That's not. The bald head kind of helps it stand out from the wizard. So you could say sorcerer as opposed to warlock. But to be quite honest, to try and differentiate those two with just a head image without going non-human is going to be hard. So sorcerer or warlock, but he's definitely magic user, not a wizard. If you want to pop it in my Discord, feel free. So if anyone wants to give their own opinions, maybe even go, to change it from sorcerer to warlock or vice versa. Oh, you son of a... I need to pin these things, don't I? You're going for Lady Sorcerer. Okay. Right, so that's another one falling off the base, because it's only a slight MDF base, and it is super glue. So I've got a feeling I'm going to have to pin these instead. They do keep popping off these MDF bases. That just means that my basing ability to make bases for them is not that good. That's all that means. Because if I'd used the bases that Graham sent with me, it would have been a lot easier. He did. He took a diving jump, didn't he? He just decided, no, I don't want to be there. I'm going to and decked it off it. It was very nice of him. Well, I can still hold him by his foot for now, and then I'll grab him by his backpack once I need to go down there. As long as I'm careful and I don't knock any arms off, I should be okay. He wants to break free. He wants to break free. Free from the base that will bind him to the tabletop for me. He wants to break free. Al, you've got that song in my head now. What have you done? I can feel a hair. And I know it's not mine, because I'm pretty much bloody bald. Which means it's definitely one of Sparkles'. I've got rid. She keeps trying to give me the hair, but it doesn't stay in my head. In case anyone's wondering why I wear a hat, yes, I'm going very bald. Hey up, Buzzard. You alright, mate? A long time no speak, and I'm quite good about that, actually, because I could do with to speak to you. It's quite calming and relaxing. And that's the first time you've heard that. Now I know this. I don't know if anyone else has popped in. If anyone else has popped in, please feel free to say hello. We are quite a friendly bunch, even though we do like to take the mick out of each other a little bit. I say a little bit. Ali winds me up and tries to get me to sing and trigger me on anything. No, I don't mean trigger me like the trigger warning thing, but tries to put any kind of lyric in there to set me off singing. So yeah, Ali likes to wind me up. So feel free to join in if you want to. You don't have to if you want. You can sit there and listen. It's perfectly acceptable. Number 2 down, and I've got to re-glue this one back on his base. Wonderful. He's got a bit of a crookedy handle. That's not a bad thing. That just adds character. think that might be the one that I've had to glue back on, actually. That's why it's crooked. It doesn't help. You've got a rota for your time now. Oh dear. That means Graham's getting serious now. He's got a flow chart and everything. He's getting really serious now. But you've got to if you want to make it work. Which is probably one of my key problems when I come to think of it. Inconsistency. Ah! Dropping my brushes. I'm dropping everything. I'm not used to working with gloves on. That's the problem. These gloves are getting in my way, but I don't want to get any paint in my blisters because I was an idiot and didn't wear the gloves when I should have. So yes, normally I won't be wearing these big, thick, daft. Oh, see, I will be looking into, because although these are all going to be loyalists, this is got to double as either a Brutalis Dreadnought, or by the time I finish getting my World Eaters, he's going to be Angry Ron. Which is also going to be a good proxy for. Just because of his sheer size. I mean, the bear itself is absolutely massive. But never mind, that stood behind Terminators. He even dwarfs the current dreadnoughts that they've just brought out, like the Redemptor Dreadnought and the Ballistus Dreadnought, and even dwarfs the current Brutalis Dreadnought. Don't be saying that, Ali. It doesn't come in threes. It ends now. It ends now. No more mishaps. No more screw-ups. No more napping about. Let's turn the paint water black. And get rid of most of the water on this piece of cardboard next to me. I've got a piece of cardboard here to rub a brush on. It works. Yeah, so guy jumped off the base, dropped a brush. And a fair few things happened today regarding these models. I mean, as I said, that'll be the third one because I did break his hammer first of all. And then I think it was one of these. Somebody else has got a broken hammer. I know that much. So I'm just going to pop some more super glue on there while and then pop you there and leave you alone. Just leave him alone and let him. A Trajan Velour with Cavill's head on it. Jeez. I'm surprised there hasn't been more models with him on it. I'm really surprised there hasn't been more models with him on it. I mean, they did Queen Elizabeth on the chair, and they've done quite a few famous people proxies. But as soon as he came out with the I'm a 40k player and fan and got so far involved that half the community just started pretty much calling him the God Emperor, I thought there was going to be a lot of custodes. You need to get yourself a decent chair then, Jake. I've got a little cushion at the back of mine, so I'll have to bring the back forward. There we go. But yeah, I've got a little cushion at the back of mine, which just keeps the lower back nice and something for me to go against, so I don't get a sore back. But then again, some people use like drummers' stools and things to sit on and find them even more comfortable than PC chairs. So my advice isn't really worth much. It's just personal experience, that's all. That's all it's ever going to be. I do not believe my words are gospel and, no, you've got to do it this way because I said so and this is the best one. Nah, none of that. Personal opinion, and that's it. My eyes itchy. Really shouldn't be doing it with gloves that have paint and stuff all over it. But then again, itchy eye. You've got to sort out an itchy eye. You don't get any choice in that matter. And, yeah. You see, the only reason I'm using a PC chair is because my PC desk doubles as my painting station and my everything station. If I'm doing something, it's at my PC desk. Whether it be on the PC, painting, modeling, putting together, whatever it is I'm doing, playing a computer. And I mean, by that, I mean on the TV, not on the PC. I don't play games on the PC much anymore, which is a shame because I've got more games for the PC than anything else. I mean, they're all on Steam, so I've got to download them. See, Twisted likes his drummer style stools. I, on the other hand, could not do it. Not a chance could I sit on a drummer stool to do this or for any length of time. My back would be killing me. I'm going to say that now. My arms and my shoulders are burning as it is, but that's because of going to the gym and not the chair. Pardon me. Oh, I'm so sorry. It does look a little bit like these because of the collar and the bald head. That's what it is. That's why it looks like Ming. But yeah, Flash. Oh, defender of the universe. Him, Flash Gordon. The American football star who all of a sudden can drive and fly a completely alien bike thing that he's never seen before in his life. And you'll game with me. You'll play a game with me? You'll play a game with me? Are you crazy? I'm not saying I'm good. I'm just saying I'm greasy. Well, I don't say I'm greasy. Everyone else says I'm greasy. But I mean, if it gets said enough, then you kind of believe it, don't you? After a while. And it's not that I won all the time either. Very bloody rarely won. But they still didn't like my builds when I built an army for some reason. When you get to re-roll most things, they don't like it. Even when you miss every fucking time. No, you can't really go wrong with the soundtrack by Queen. Which is funny enough. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, yeah, I was listening to Queen's. Well, I did the Live Aid concert first, and then I did Queen Greatest Hits, Volume 1. Which is essentially a great album, even though it's a best of. Still one of the better albums you can get. Fantastic music. Great lyrics. Even though some of them don't always make sense. Bohemian Rhapsody being a key point. I mean, who does a rock opera with no chorus and makes it into a bloody hit? Queen. That's about the only one I can think of. Okay, is that all of him? No. Base coated? Nope, I've got to get in under the shield there. Which is why I'm using this great big daft dry brush thing, because it can get in lots of places without being too vicious and aggressive. Obviously, if I'm too vicious and aggressive, I'll be found out to jump off the base. You're the biggest Queen fan. You're the biggest Queen fan. See, I'm not the biggest Queen fan, but I can't deny it. They are good. I know most of the songs, even though I didn't know it at the time because I was younger. And now that I'm older, it's like, wow, that was them. Wow, that was them. That was them as well. Oh my god, it's like just banger after banger after banger with them, innit? But then again, you can say the same about Beautiful South. So many good songs, and it's like I didn't even realize it was them to start with. Let's move him out of the way so I can start making room for ones that have been painted. So it's the two running forward, and that chappy there. 6 left to go black. That doesn't sound right. 6 left undercoat. I really need to think about the words sometimes that come out of my head. It is a frivolous use of money, but it would probably give you the biggest geekgasm you've ever had in your life if you get one. So, yeah, you're buying it. I figured that out already. And House Martins, yep. See, just good music. You don't get this anymore. It's all the same stuff. They all use the same tools. And they wonder why they all sound the same. I suppose you could say the same with us painters and model painters. We all use the same tools, but at least we can go like color schemes and change it up a bit. You're kind of stuck a little bit with music if you're just going, right, okay, what are we using for a drum machine? Well, we'll use an 808. Okay, well, what did they use? Well, they used an 808. What did they use? Well, they used the 808 as well. And you all use the same kick, the same snare, the same presets. Don't get me wrong, I can work. Gorillas, I think, is it Clint Eastwood? That one's done. The thing is a preset off a very, very cheap, I think it was not Casio, I think it was a Yamaha keyboard. But yeah, you just let the preset go and it's and that's how you get the drum beat for Clint Eastwood. I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag and after we're useless, we're going on, see, good band. Although I like Damon Albarn as well, so I'm not allowed to say I'm a Blur fan though in this house because I don't know enough about them apparently. You can hear that in the background, and that's the reason why I can't say I'm a Blur fan. I can say I'm a fan of any other band in the world. But if I say I'm a Blur fan, I get questioned on it. by a bloody Blur fan. Carry on, carry on. Nothing really matters. Dun, 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 dun. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening indeed. Galileo, 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 Figaro, Olympico. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let him go. Beelzebub, the devil put aside for me, for me, for me. And if any one of you says that you didn't start rocking your head then after seeing the Wayne's World film, I know you're lying. Good evening, Kirsty. Was that Kirsty coming in? Yes, it was. I'm not going daft. I did see Kirsty. And anyone else you missed. Well, Kirsty, can you do me a quick favor? Because I can't see from where I am. And you have a spanner, so I'm assuming I can ask you this. How many viewers do I have at the moment? Because I don't know. I only know who's in the chat. So there's you, there's Ali, there's Twisted, there's Graham, there's Buzzard, and there's Jake. As far as I know. That's as far as I know. I mean, the number could say 13 for all I know, and some people are just being quiet and watching and listening to my very bad singing. Which, by all means, please do. And little pity, little pity, little pity, little man. We'll paint him black, then we'll cover him up with some more. We'll use lots of colors on him, like blue and silver and some red and then maybe some yellow, and we'll do lots of things with it. It's hard to try and fit other words around Bohemian Rhapsody. Hey, we're the monkeys. Keep a monkey around. Oh, I can't remember where the rest of that song go. Because they are a pre-built band as an American, like, oh, the Beatles were popular. Let's do something as an animal thing. And so they made the Monkeys. And that's how you get the Monkeys TV show and all sorts of bloody stuff. They weren't bad, but they weren't the Beatles, were they? I mean, in fairness, they might as well have just been the Banana Splits out of the suits. Have I just hit my camera again? Now 9! Woohoo! I have 9 people watching me. Which is great. Welcome, all of you. Thank you all for coming in. Yes, we are too busy singing at the moment to be doing anything else. But I don't know that song, Ali, so I can't sing that one. I mean, my default is to go back to Basket Case because for some reason most of those lyrics actually stayed in my head after all these years. For whatever reason. Don't mind a bit of Green Day. Obviously, I like Therapy as well. If you don't recognize the t-shirt, you're not watching. No worries, Captain. You just listening, mate. Nice to see you, though. Thank you. Oh, that's what I should have. If they're going to be bears, I should have painted them like you, Captain. How did I miss that one? How did I miss that one? I should have painted all of these like Captain. They should have all had hair. They should have all had beards. That's a missed opportunity right there. I could have had an entire unit of Captain Baptins steaming forward with hammers and shields. And as cool as that guy looks, it would have looked a lot cooler with 10 Captain Baptins steaming forward. Thank you very much, Cap. Thank you very much. I mean, if you're busy, you're busy. I shan't. If I'm distracting you, then don't let me. But I appreciate any time that you wish to spend with me, either directly or indirectly. And I've not been around for a long time regarding the online community. There have been reasons for that I shan't go into on stream. I should let you all give you at least some kind of indication of what type of reasons. Very personal ones. But that has been the reason why I've not been around on the online community for quite a while. I've had a fair bit of stuff to deal with, and it's not been fucking nice. Let's get one of the ones that's waving his hammer around. There we go. Get him in there. I mean, I've got to dry brush all these ivory as well, and them reds and all the other colours, but paint them all black, make sure they're all dry while I go through the other bits that I got from Rogues Den Hobbies. There's not much, just a few animals, and in fact, I think I was talking about them a lot in the last stream. So I pretty much set up the plate live on the stream with Graham's help. So they did arrive today, which is why I can do this. Otherwise, I would have been doing something else, and I'm not sure what I would have been doing if these hadn't come in time. Because pretty much all I've been thinking about is getting this unit done, because these with the bear, I think they're just going to look so nice on the tabletop, just stomping towards things for close combat. And you're not really going to have much of a choice of which one to go for, because if either one of them get there, they're going to hit you pretty damn hard. So it does have that much going for them. So this is definitely the more melee heavy build. So I'll probably end up with the rest of the Terminators and Blade Guard with it. I am really sorry. Pardon me. One thing I do have to locate, though, is my cup of tea. Which is there. Oh, that's good. That was quick. I've located my cup of tea. It's behind me. Kind of. If it was sat straight at my desk, it would be behind me. Are you reading the comments? Right, okay. I think you
likes them.
Say again.
Mini Laz likes the Haribo.
Mini Laz does like the Haribo. Mini Laz is at the Haribo. They didn't. I opened the box and the first packet was instantly claimed. Immediately, I didn't even get the packaging out of the box. I saw a packet of Haribo, pulled it out, and went, "Ooh, can I have them?" It's like, can I get the rest of the stuff out of the box first? Nope. Had to give him the Haribo first, and then I could proceed with what else was in the box, which was a second packet of Haribo and the models. So yes, Mini Laz has been having a nice day on Haribo, courtesy of Graham. Not that song, Ali. Not that song. No. In the town where I was born, lived the man who sees. Ali. And he told me of his time sinking yellow submarines. We'll torpedo the yellow submarine. The yellow submarine. The yellow submarine. We'll torpedo the yellow submarine. The yellow submarine. The yellow submarine. Now that they've all gone, we've only got red ones. So we better change the type of missiles that we fire. We don't like the coloured marines, the coloured submarines, the coloured submarines. We don't like the coloured submarines, the coloured submarines, the coloured submarines. Ooh, what did you order from AK? They sent me some Spanish Haribo. Ooh. Now, is there actually a difference between? Is there a difference in how they make them? Because I know some places will make them vegetarian, some places won't. But other than that small difference, I've never really encountered much. Essentially, it depends what they use as a setting agent more than anything. And I think it's only over the last few years that even Haribo have been veggie. And I don't even think all of them are, for that matter. I don't know that one, Ali. Or if I do, it's not coming into my head right now, which I suppose is a good thing, really. I'm not butchering songs that you like. I need to get right in under his undercrackers under there, and he won't let me. Cat's being weird again. My cat's always weird, but she's being extra weird at the minute. You go down there and don't catch the big thing with your paintbrush, you idiot. Yeah. Cheers. Oh, you know way too many songs. You know way too many songs. I mean, I know a lot, but lyrically they don't stay. I won't be singing that one. That's a Bon Jovi song. Won't be singing Bon Jovi. Don't like no. I mean, Bon Jovi can live his life happily. Just keep it all away from me. You bought a Switch? Oh, Switches are good. You should have waited a few months to get a Switch 2 instead, because then you'll still be able to play Switch games, and then you'll be able to play the Switch 2 games as well. Because there will be a new Zelda out on that, obviously, as well as the new Mario Kart and the next set of Pokemon games. And yeah, I don't see any big releases coming for the Switch now. Everything I think will be put off for the Switch 2, with the exception of maybe Pokemon ZA. But that's because it's a Pokemon game and it will sell even if the console's out of date. But if it's usable on both Switch and Switch 2, then it'll definitely sell. And I need a bit more paint on my palette. Yes, but it does do full 1080p handheld. Whereas the Switch is only 720 handheld. I think you can't really do true 1080 on. You can't do full true 1080 on a TV, even if you pop it into the docking station. So you are getting a big graphics quality increase from it, and I believe it's supposed to be faster as well. Not that the Switch needs help with speed, because everything runs from cartridge, so it's damn near instant anyway. It only actually gives you loading screens because, well, it's dealing with humans, and we need to see that it's doing something. So it actually gives you a loading screen for 30 seconds, even though it's loaded everything that it needs to, just so you know that it's doing something still. Or just so I know it's doing something still, and don't start shouting at it to hurry up. Because I'm one of them impatient humans. So, wow, the game's been twice the price is a bit stupid. That's daft. Keep the bloody games the same price. It's already expensive enough as it is. They don't need to be jacked up to like 70 quid. That's just ridiculous money for a game that won't be finished, because there's going to be DLC for most of them that you will have to pay for, even if they do give some free DLC as well. So the fact that they're charging you that much for an unfinished game, even though it is finished, is not giving it to you, which is a ripping is in and of itself. So yeah, I'm not too keen on. So I might not be getting a Switch 2. Okay, that's fine. I can do without a Switch 2. I'll catch up on the games when it's come down in price a little bit, and I'm guessing it will only come down in price a little bit because the Switch held its price. The Switch held its price really well. Well, hopefully they'll do a Sony and go, right, okay, we'll just slash 100 quid off the price, or 200 quid off the price. Put it down to dirt cheap, outsell everything over Christmas. But that'll be for the marketing team to decide, I suppose. Okay, this black reflects weird, so sometimes I don't know whether I've got a certain area or not, because the black's reflecting off it. Wow, 2008, 2009 the last time you played it. No, I have played a computer game last week. It was the last time I played a computer game. I started Horizon Zero Dawn, I think it is. Don't like the cameras. Don't like the camera angle on it. Don't like the controls on it. So I'm not overly impressed with that. But I did try it. I did start it, and I got all the way through to the point where you're grown up and you get to learn how to do things. Do more, and then we get to go see what else I got. Oh, so you got the white one. Right, excellent. Yeah, the OLED one's quite nice, but it's still... It just seems to be lacking when you put it on the big screen. As a handheld, it's brilliant. I love my little OLED. I still need to go back and redo Dragon Quest 11 or 11. Because I got past the first end boss thing, and then they've got the big stupid daft optional boss, which is damn near impossible. I've not managed to beat that yet, even with specific techniques of being able to keep yourself in invulnerable mode for quite a while. But you've really got to maximize every single action you do on that boss fight, and it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, Zelda and Mario are always good. My son's done Astrobot, which is essentially Mario but on the PlayStation. Flagship game when they launched the PS5, that one. So that was a nice little game for him to play. And he's pretty good at it as well, in fairness. But I do hear the dad when he can't do something. And I then have to learn whatever the new gimmick is that he's got on that level, and then figure out how I'm supposed to beat the boss. It's a good job been gaming for a few years, I know that much. If I had not, then that would have been a much more difficult thing to do. And I saw that wiggle then, that's not good. That means I'm putting too much pressure on. Let's not do that. So yeah, these will be standard Space Marines. I am going to be looking to do Chaos, World Eater specifically, which is why I have the converted Dark Apostle down there into a, I think it's a lot of executions, or a lot of executions. The standard Lord guy for Chaos. I have him converted for that. So instead of having his big book in the air, he's now got a whopping great big axe. Can't go wrong with axes. And I do have a spare one of these hammers as well, so I can pop one of them on if I need to for another character. Might put one on the Terminator Captain. I think I have a few. But yeah, I will be doing Chaos as well. So what should have been the Dark Apostle is now a Lord Executioner. So he's got the, I'm assuming it's still a Crozius, and then what a great big whopping axe. And I know the axe is painted, but I clipped it off a different model because I was going through test schemes for which Chaos faction I would like to build from. So obviously I've done one. Oh, you are joking with the arm and everything, and you've just gone and fallen right in the bag of bits. Last one, the arms fell off. He's fallen off his base, and it's just freaking hammer's just gone into a bag of bits. I'll be back in a moment. That would be my metal ruler, and that would be the hammer. Let's move this out of the way. No signs yet, Ali, but she hasn't given up. She's really not giving up. Ooh, that's a tough question. All the animals. Right, let me finish this one off and I'll go through the animals that I've got. Because the bunny rabbits are really small, in fairness. I don't think they'll get away with a set on their own. Oh, that's really... He's actually stinging now. Oh well. It's better than getting paint all over them and in them. So let's put the gloves back up. Probably should have tapped to something inside these before I did all this, but hey ho. Right, so that goes in the mouth for an activation agent, and then we put that in there. Tiny blow of super glue. Human activation is the best activation for super glue because that's what it was made for. You're supposed to be one that's holding. There we go. Come on, get in the shoulder. Oh, fine, I'll have 3 of you stood like that then. Just don't fall off again. Paint around this side first. So I'm going to leave his hammer arm for the very, very last thing that I paint. And then I'll pop him on his base again. Just to make sure he's there and nice. So let's get his backpack done so I've got something I can hold him on. Because now I can't hold him with his hammer because that's looking falling off. Because the glue went. Now, this is in no way the model's fault. This is all my fault for using cheap glue, not pinning or magnetizing. And so let's face it, that would be a lot easier if it was to pin them all. Just give them that extra bit of, something to purchase onto, even if it is only a bit of a paper clip. Pinning resin models is definitely the better way to do it. I've got a feeling that all these arms are going to eventually come off and I'm going to have to go back and pin them. Which I will deal with when it happens. So at the moment, they're all staying quite where I want them to. Mostly. See, there we go. That glue's set. That's good. Let's get up under his undercrackers. Right up under his undercrackers around. I mean, tickle him right up under there. If you don't like it, tough. I believe Sparkles has left me. I don't mean left me. I mean, she's just gone upstairs. I wish you could have sound on and I don't get feedback. Under his armpits. Still missed a bit under his undercrackers under there. That's not good. Let's make sure we get his legs. And the top of his feet. And obviously the inside of his leg as well. Now that I think about it, I probably should have done this afternoon with my airbrush while it was outside. Well, before it started raining. But outside was all right earlier on today, so could have got away with it. But instead, I decided to go to the gym. So now I'm in pain while I do this instead. You know, smart me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use my arms tonight. So what do? Let's go to the gym and make sure they're all sore before I do. Proper clever fucker, aren't I? I have got my tea. I have had some of it. It is there behind me. Sparkles had it ready for me. And she is amazingly awesome like that. As Captain will quite happily say that, yeah, she's too good for me. Which he did say to my face. In case anyone's thinking, you can't say that to someone. No, he can. He can. He's right. And he at least said it to my face. And I agreed with him. I mean, Sparkles laughed. And laughed it off, but yeah, we agreed. Too good. I'm definitely punching above my weight class there. Which isn't particularly difficult considering how light I am, but still. Oh, don't tell me I've got to put the smidgenest little bit of black paint on just to finish the head of that hammer. Just put a smidgen a little bit, just tiniest little bit. Good evening, Francois. Hello. Welcome in. Thank you for coming to join us. How are you doing tonight? I mean, I'm trying to keep up. Yeah, if you can combine them with larger animals. So with the bunnies, sticking with the deer. Herbivores. Carnivores. Domestic. That might be a good way to do it. Especially if you've got enough cats and things to help fill the domestic side. Let's just make sure we get up right up into all them gaps. Okay, diddles. That's number 9 done. Let's pop the 2 blobs of glue back on the base and pop him onto it and let him dry. Let them dry for now. We're working on your Phantom. Ooh. That's the big boy, isn't it? That's the great big whopping nail that one, isn't it? Right. So I'm going to take my gloves off for a second and move this out of the way. Let them dry, including the glue. Because I'm going to have to let the glue dry now. And I'm going to have to go through what I call my Graham box. Which is this nice little box here. if you're looking for basing anything basing idea, if you're part of the Discord, get a hold of Twisted in there, and I will quite happily say this: Twisted does some of the best bases I have ever seen. They are just, I don't know what it is. He just the extra mile that he goes to them is just, yeah, he's good. He's good at bases. What's that one? Right, that's one of the bags that I got. That's the weapon. Where's the animals then? Where are the? There they are. Those are the range weapons. Those are the special bases that will end up being used for. I'm not sure actually. I don't want to use them on something mundane, but I want to use them on something. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing is quite simple. It's a nice. If anyone's used to seeing the Inceptors, which are the Gravis flying things for Space Marines, they come with them stupid little plastic curved. In fact, I'll just get one out and show you. Put them back in there for a second. I'll get one out. I'll show you what annoys me the crap out. What annoys the crap out of me about it, and why I've ordered what's in this bag. Is this the right box or is this the wrong box? This will be the wrong box. This is the D&D box. So that goes back under there, and we get this one out instead. Right, so where are you annoying little shits? You should be in that section there, or at least a couple of you. There's one, and I should have one of you off the base. But where is his base? There is his base. Okay. There's one that's off his base, and one that's on his base. So, just to show you, I've only ordered 5, even though I probably should have ordered more. But I'm going to have to wait for that because I do. So these come on these annoying little bases that sensor. You've got to super glue in there, and then they're awkward as hell. They flop off and they fall off and they break all the bloody time. So what I ordered from Rogues and Hobbies are these. Now these should, in theory, because I didn't get a chance to actually line them up and test them properly, it'll probably take some kind of maneuvering and a little bit of changing of things, but these should go into the exhaust ports and allow them to be standing on nice big flying plumes. But it also gives me a great big whopping area to attach it to, and not just a stupid little tiny bit like that. So those are some of the things I ordered, which are, I ordered 5 of them. So I've got plenty there to be putting my Inceptors on. So these guys will be getting upgraded onto these rather than those crappy little flight stands that Games Workshop sells. But the bit that Graham's just been asking me to talk about is the other bag that's here next to me. So I'm just going to put them in there temporarily. And in this bag, let's just come over and give myself a little bit more room to display these. And I know there's a lot of mess and a lot of things on my desk, little plastic bits and all sorts. That's why I try and keep it off camera. Yeah, I've got to say those exhausts are great because they're sturdier. But as Graham was saying, I have ordered some. No, that's one of my favorites. So there is a little bit of cleanup because of how small these guys are. I mean, they're tiny. But I have little doggo. That's a very small amount of cleanup. I mean, ridiculously small amount of cleanup to the point where it's essentially a spider web in there. Just one strand, and that were it. And a tiny bit there and there. There you go. For the size of the model, that is nothing. So we have Doggo Hound. Pardon me again. I am sorry. I'm really sorry. Something's not liking my stomach tonight. And we have Doggo number 2. So one sniffing. He's just walking behind. And I should have it, and I have another doggo. I have Doggo cocking his leg and having a wee. Which it just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh. These ones do good. These ones are very, very small. Very, very small. Those ones over there, they're far away. Very small, far away. So yeah, my favorite doggo out of all the 3 doggos is the one that's cocking it like having a wee. Just because it's funny. But I also, within the set, we have Howling Wolf. We have Running Wolf. And we have Standing Wolf. So we have 3 wolfies. So we have 3 doggos, 3 wolves. But I get a total of technically 5 rabbits. So we have Rabbit stood on his little hind leg. I mean, this one, these are tiny, tiny little, you can see it in the palm of my hand there. So Rabbit on hind legs, which we have potentially 2 of. This one's more walking, this one's more stood still. Then we have Run, Rabbit, Run, Rabbit, Run, Run, Run. And we also have sitting about to run Rabbit. But Rabbit number 5, sadly, got caught by a bird. So you can see the rabbits there, and the birds come down to... Nah, that rabbit's gone. That rabbit's lunch. So you've got 5 super, super, super tiny little rabbits now. They're smaller than the cats. So if anyone's gone and watched Cats and Catacombs, that entire playlist of all 12 of them, these are small. And scale-wise, yeah, they're not as... The wolves and the dogs will probably need magnifying glasses. The rabbits definitely will need magnifying glasses. So that's what I ordered along with the hammers this time round, and that's the one that nearly got me and Graham in trouble. That's why we had to stop where we were before Sparkles did us both in. Again, because they're so small, a very, very tiny amount of cleanup to be done, but to be quite honest, it's negligible in this case. If it weren't for the fact that I'm able to look at it so close, I don't think anyone would actually notice some of the things I'm taking off these right now. I don't think any of you would be able to see it on the camera. So I'm not over about, like, can you see what I'm about to cut out there? Possibly not. Maybe once I actually go in and go, oh, wait a minute. If I zoom in and I've got it on a 98-inch TV, I can see it. But if you've got it on a 98-inch TV, that will go to that. So you're going to see a lot more. You probably see more than I do, actually, if you watch it on a TV that big. I've already got it on a little 20-something monitor. I don't even think it's 20 something, to be quite honest. How big is that? Yeah. Happy dog go sniffing butts. Happy dog go sniffing butts. So yeah, I'll just clean these up a little bit while I wait for my space bears with hammers to dry. So yeah, very, very nice little animals. No worries, Captain. You have a good night, mate, and I'll hopefully see you around this weekend. I'm trying to get around more, but it's staying up the late part that I can't seem to do anymore. I don't know. I'm getting old, I think. I think that's definitely I'm getting old. But you have a good night, mate. Thank you for coming to join us. Yes, Ali, rabbit number 5 is bird food. But it's my favourite rabbit. So the dog having a wee and the rabbit getting eaten are my two favourite ones out of all them. Now, if you can, going back to what Graham was asking earlier, if you can multi-set the wolves, more than that would be quite a nice little set. As I said, with domesticated animals, stick cats and dogs together, and then you've got woodland creatures. So if you kind of group them into sets, so like I said, woodland creatures, carnivores, domesticated, however you wish to do it, it might work better that way rather than going all dogs, all cats, all this, all that. Because even though I wanted dogs and wolves, I wanted multiple different animals. I didn't just want one type of animal. And I'm guessing most people probably want the same. So they want a slightly smaller selection. So 3 dogs, 3 wolves, 5 rabbits, or 5 deer, 5 female deer, 5 male deer, and then the 5 rabbits with them, just to give it a woodland thing. And then you've got dogs, cats, wolves, tigers, anything that would be more predator based, or as likely to eat some of the others. Right, what was I up to? Here with a lot of it, but regardless of that, what was I up to painting? Let's have another look at this fella, which is the one that I did the other week. So I know we need bronze to do the shiny bits on his hammer. And I need lead belcher to do all the chains and the trim. And we need blue to do the majority of the armory bits. And we need to dry brush the damn thing in ivory. The entire damn thing in ivory. Other than that, it's just the fire bit at the back there then, which is red, orange, and yellow. No, you can't see it because my head's in the way. Not I'm saying I've got a big head, I've just positioned myself wrong. See, that's not bad. It's just put the little smaller ones on with the sets as close as they can get, and then I think that would work. So yes, we have the colours for fire. So there's the colours for fire, and there's the colours for the rest of it. So 4 colours to do everything else, 5 colours just to do the bit around the back of the neck. Something's definitely wrong with me upstairs, isn't it? Definitely wrong with me upstairs. Where are we? Graham has just given me a very good reminder. Bear with me one moment. I just need to actually nip into YouTube. And go into my own stream for a second. I need to pin a comment because Graham has. just reminded me something. That I forgot to do on this one. I'd put it on the last one, but I forgot to do it on this one. And so I'm going to pin it. O G E S D E N O H O B B I E S. Promo code LAZ 10. 10. Why is there no percentage sign on the fucking keyboard? No. 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 Ah, there it is. Check it. There goes my finger. Pin message. Thank you for reminding me about that, Graham. There is a 10% discount code for Rogues Den Hobbies if you are coming from my site. If you use that when you're ordering, use last 10 capitals for the last 10, and you get 10% off at checkout. I forgot all about that because I never use it. Well, obviously I don't use it, but it's there for all of you to use. I usually remember actually with this one, because if it comes from Graham, I usually put that up. If you hadn't told me to put that one up, then I probably would have ended up putting something else up anyway. But he reminded me to put, put the 10% discount on. Otherwise, he doesn't know who's using it. Because unless you use that code, then he doesn't know you've come from here. And I don't actually get anything. Well, I do, but I don't. It'll all go on resin. It'll all go on more models and things. But yeah, if you buy anything, it will help out my channel and it will help out Rogues Den Hobbies as well. So you get to help out both of us there. Not forcing you, it's just there if you wish to use it, as there is a new range gone up, which is the Space Dwarfs, which I believe he's just finished doing. And what was the other one? You've got another one going up, Graham. What is it? I'm just going to go have a look at her. Yeah, I'm just going to have to go have a look. It's not the Rat Catchers. It's not the Angels. They're a very nice range, though. I like the Angels. Sci-fi. It's these Space Dwarfs. And you've finished them off now with the Exo Riggers. They look good. Stop getting me looking through all this stuff, Graham, please. But yes, go check it out. There are some very nice things up there. Royal Hunt is coming soon. That is what it is. And that's where I've got the animals from. So the animals aren't up there yet, but they will be soon. Those what Graham was working on next. So while Graham was working on that, let's get finished painting the ones that he's already sent me. So the slap top director brush, which I do over pretty much every model just so I can see the detail and paint over it afterwards. I don't so much use the slap chop method all the time, but I always use the setup for it. So ivory, in this case, it'll be the bony spikes from Army Painter. Give it a good shake because ivories are just thick and gloopy at the best of times, but I like this one. So I like this one better than Duncan Rhodes one anyway. And I will generally base my opinion of a paint range off their ivory and how much I like it. So sorry, Duncan, sort your ivory out and I might consider it. But for now, I'll go with Pro Acryl. Pro Acryl is just good. It's just good. That's the only way I can actually describe them. Right, so a little bit of ivory on my brush. Rub the majority of it off. go get a fellow over here, and then with downstrokes, try and bring out the edges. I did not have enough paint on my brush. I took way too much off. I was about to use my hand then, and the whole point of me using my gloves is so I don't use my hands. So now we dry brush so we can see all the nice details of Graham's high definition printer. I mean, come on, look at that. Even in case he can't even zoom and focus on it, but he's even got the little ridges around the back of his heel of his boots. It's stupid the amount of details on these models. Easily uncomparable with Games Workshop. Easily. So that's essentially more of what it will look like now that you can see it's not all just one flat colour. It does help give it a little bit. So if we compare him to, well, it's actually the exact same model pretty much, except that they look in different directions. Just giving it a bit of a dry brush just makes it look so much better as a starting point. And although it is a heavy dry brush, don't be too concerned if you're using black, because we can always come back over with the black contrast paint and darken the armor back down again if we need to. It says if we need to. I'm going to need to looking at this. It is a bit of a win-win, Ali. Graham helped me fuel my resin addiction, which is becoming quite a thing now. It was a plastic crack addiction for a while, but now it's resin. It's cheaper and much more in line with what I would like to do, especially regarding customizing and having my own unique little army. Because there was just great sculpts. Now, at some point, I will get the bigger version of these. I'm not quite sure what I'll use them as, since I'm using the small ones as Terminators. So I'm thinking the bigger ones might end up just becoming Centurions, which I like as well. I like my Centurion Devastators. If I could field an entire army of Centurion Devastators, I would. But then again, I might convert them into, ooh, they might make nice £8. Ooh. I mean, I'll have enough Chaos bits after I've finished getting the Havocs and the Legionaries and the Berserkers and the Terminators. So I'll have enough Chaosy bits. Oh, I wonder if the big ones would make quite nice £8. No, stop. I've got a wedding to pay for. Can't be going buying more models. Cannot go buying more models. So if you would like to see me convert £8, please use promo code last10. Yeah, you get the idea. I'm joking. Use the promo code by all means, but yeah, I'll pick up the models eventually. It's not that I'm running out. I've still got the Eldar to do. I've still got the rest of the Tyranids from the Combat Patrol to paint. And I will have the start of my World Eater army soon enough to start painting that off anyway. I've already started with one of them wherever he is. Is that him? No. Where's my one and only World Eater model that I've painted? There's the Black Legion one. Are you behind Lavarus? Yeah, you are. You're behind Lavarus. There he is. My one and only World Eater. He will be getting friends. If you speak to her and do that, you will get a yearly limit of 0. Because I'm already spending what is technically my limit every week to get the Combat Patrol magazine. But by all means, if you want to try and get me a monthly budget, I'm not going to stop you from trying. I just think I know the answer. In fact, I think I can hear movement coming to tell me that answer. I mean, I would like a monthly budget to spend on Rogues Den hobbies. In that case, I would probably end up with an entire Leagues of Votan army, as well as a couple of ridiculously sized Space Marine armies and forces, and a lot of D&D characters. You have a good night, Ali. Thank you for coming to join us. I hope you have a nice day tomorrow as well. Oh, right. We're already at that point, Graham. We're way past that point. We're at that point when I ordered the bear. Since then, I've ordered 2 units of Makwa Space Bears with rocket launchers, weapons upgrade packs, all sorts. So yeah, we was already at that point by the time I ordered the bear. I've gone over that point now. Well and truly gone over that point now. So yeah, when not in a good ordering position at the moment. Although I do have quite a lot to keep me. I mean, I'm really I want to finish this unit. I've just got a feeling it's just going to look nice having all these 10 stood in front of him. Just get on a nice board, get it set up, and then steam them all forward and watch someone panic. It's going to be fun. Bam, 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 bam. Hey up. I mean, this does take a while. This is one of the longest parts of the process, is essentially getting the base layers on and ready. I only do 3 color standard anyway. There's not much after this that I have to do, but this is probably the most time consuming part. The black and then the dry brush. Takes bloody ages. That's a weird question today. Do I ever actually pay attention to the things that come out of my mouth and the things that I type and say? Obviously, this person's never spoken to me before to realize that that was just a daft question. No, do I heck listen to me? God damn, if I had to listen to me all day, I'd go nuts. You, everybody who comes to watch me, I'm thankful for you, but you get the option to go, stop. I'm sadly not in that position when it comes to dealing with myself. So, yeah. In case anyone else was wondering, do I ever actually pay attention to me? Heck no. Oh, no. Yeah. I get told enough that the crap that comes out of my mouth doesn't make sense to the people that know me. Never mind the people that don't. And text is always a funny way anyway, because if you can't dictate how somebody takes something in text form. And if you don't, I mean, you can make as much attempt as you want to not make it offensive when you know it could be. But regardless of how much you do, even if they take it that way, there's nothing you can bloody do at the end of the day, is there? So yes, in case anyone's wondering, I have annoyed someone. I think. I don't know, because I've got the same problem, because it's in text format. I don't know if they're joking. If they're joking and I'm joking and neither one of us actually bloody knows, it's just a kerfuffle. Oh, that shooting rest was actually a fucking genius idea. Pop the model there, put the airbrush there. No moving, just turn, tss, turn, tss. It was a stroke of genius, that Twisted. An absolute stroke of genius. Not that I've used it because, well, that would require me to have a setup in my house where I can use my bloody airbrush. I have to use it outside because of particles and things. I don't have a spray booth or a decent enough extractor to not have to worry about it. I have to worry about it. But then again, I worry about most things. So it's not like anything new there. Whew. I mean, just looking at them now, you can still say, see, it does make a difference. I bet it does, Twisted. I mean, yeah. I know I can't paint. If I'm having one of my little moments, I can't paint. So if you found a way to actually help you paint while you're having your moments, then that is good. Now, I know it sounds daft, but I don't have a health and well-being section in my Discord because I just assume everybody in there is already fucked up. And if you're coming to me for advice on health and well-being, then wow. Go see a doctor. Go see doctors. Doctors know what they're doing more than I do. Although technically I am the world's leading expert on tinnitus. Just because of the fact that I've had it for 40 odd years and I know more about it than they do. Because I have to fucking put up with it. It's nice when nurses and doctors tell you that, isn't it? Oh, well, because of your experience, you know more about it than we do. Aren't you supposed to be the fucking specialists? Yes, but we don't have it. Oh. So how are you the specialist if you don't have it? I don't even know how to do that. Well, we listen to all you people and you give us the advice. So we're the fucking specialists and you get the money for it. You cheeky bastard. Anyway, ran over. But yes, if you want to join my Discord, even though there is not a health and well-being section, There is a link on my channel page that should let you into it. For some reason, it doesn't let me put links up anymore on videos, and I'm not sure why. Quite annoying, because it did let me do it for a while. But now it doesn't. It doesn't let me put a fucking link up there. So I'm a little miffed on that, but mate. If you can't get in, leave me a message, leave me a note or comment, should I say, and what I'll do is I'll drop the link and reply. If you want to get in and it's saying no, link's old or something like that, or link's invalid, or just being an arse because it's a computer or a technical thing, pop a description, note in the description, not note in the description, pop a comment on and I'll resolve it personally for you. See, I'm nice like that. I mean, I might not be around a lot because of shit going on in my life and stuff that I've got to do. But I will be around as much as I can, which some days is quite a bit and some days is not at all. Obviously, it depends on the day and what's happening. But there's more than just me in there regarding the hobby. As I said, if anyone ever wants painting advice, Twisted Nurse Painting is probably the one person I will send you to before anybody else. If you want painting advice, depending what it is, I'll probably send you Graham's way. And Graham will probably bounce you straight back to me, depending on what it is. If it's 40k related, Graham's pointing you straight back to me. If it's generic, he'll probably give you better advice than what I could ever do. And if you're slightly sadistic, or is it masochistic? Can't remember which one. The one where you like to cause crap to yourself, that one. Then Graham is definitely the man to go to because he'll tell you how to gild things. That's just a whole different. That's not even painting. That's literally applying gold leaf to shit, and that's just a whole different level of what the fuck. So there are plenty of people within this ridiculously small community that I've managed to somehow build up, but it's such a nice community that I will not trade it for the world. The people that are in there are so helpful, they're kind, and then there's me, who's just a dick. Well, in this case, the dick seems to be the one that glues us all together. So it doesn't sound right, does it? Scrap that. Never mind that. The dick doesn't glue nothing. Graham, stop laughing. Twisted, stop cringing. It's like, look, mate, you need to shut up. Shut up quick. Yeah, I know I do. But if I shut up, then you're just watching some paint dry. So I don't want to shut up. Bro! T, have we going for an hour and 5 minutes? Oof. All I've done is base coated and dry brushed and done a few repairs and looked through bags and so I've done a fair bit. But because of how long it's taken, I am a smoker. Tut and shake your head all you want, but yeah, I am a smoker. Over it. So I am going to be taking a break soon just to pop out and have a cigarette. So before I do that, obviously I'm going to finish these last two models off dry brushing. So if you would like something to go on while I put the Be Right Back screen up, I can put music to a degree through, as long as it's not something that's going to get me copyrighted. So no Queen, Graham, I'm afraid. Queen will get me shut down straight away. As well stuff like Metallica and basically anyone who sits there going, hey, you can't use that. Any of those type of people, no. But if you've got a favorite game track or something like that, pop it in. I'll look for it and put it on as the background music when I nip out. I won't be gone long. It'll only be about 5-10 minutes at most. Like I say, enough time to boil the kettle, have a cigarette, make another cup of tea, come back. Yeah. Sitting here for a while, you need drinks, you need to hydrate, you need to, pardon me, you need to look after yourself. You need to look after yourself with this hobby because it's not exactly the most active, so you're not going to get the very fit through doing it. But you need to make sure you drink and yeah. I should have been wearing my gloves through doing all this. You don't want to see them nasty. Oh no, nene. Oh no, nene. It is. Okay, Francois. Oh no, nene. I was going to put chicken attack. But oh no, nene will do. I don't think I know that one. But hey ho. I've forgotten how to spell it already. I've literally just looked at it. Oh no. Nay. Oh no. Nah. Did I spell that right? I don't know. Yeah. I spelled that right. Leicester Funky Fresh. And it's a 4-minute song. Okay. That's not quite long enough, but it's at least something. I can put something on that. It's a happy doggo sniffing butt song. I'm putting it on there. I'm putting it on. Happy doggo sniffing butts. Happy doggo sniffing butts. Sniffing ass is what they like, but they like sniffing doggos' butts. I know that's not the lyrics, that's probably not the tune of the song either, but doggo sniffing asses. Yeah. That's what doggos do. They sniff, they jump, they lick. If you're really unlucky, they're going to try and prove the dominance and hump your leg. Let's hope you're not that unlucky to have doggies humping your legs. It's not nice having to kick a dog in the balls, but sometimes you need to. Get the fuck off me, little pervert. Bang! It no longer comes to hump your leg. It realizes, nah, he's in charge. Even if he's not my owner, he's in charge. I did meet a really nice dog the other day. Nice little bulldog called Polo. Beautiful little. I don't know what it's called when you have different coloured eyes, but yeah, he had one blue, one brown. So I was like, oh, that's just really nice. Oh no, it was this one that was broken because I can see the little bit there where the pin's still in it. It was that chap that's got one broken. Not that you can overly tell, but there's a little gap there. You see it, and it is a little bit wiggly. I bet he's loving that every time you go around. It's like, yep, got the theme song ready. Fuck off with the theme song. No, it suits it. Suits her. It's a theme song now. So there we go. All dry brushed. already. Now we can start soon we can start looking at color. So we have desktop audio, which I do need to turn off. I'll turn up, should I say? And then we need to go to there. Leicester Funky Fresh. Oh no, Nene. Is there a longer version? No, it's no, Batman.
It's 9:15. How am I already underwater?
I'm in the same boat.
Right in front
I'm
of
in
it.
an actual boat.
I thought Grammarly.
And I need to come back to OBS. Be back soon. Let you know you can hear it.
Architecture and interior design? Find a 3D designer today. Fiverr. Start now.
New Aussie Super Serum for 100 hours of moisturized hair. Aussie, have you tried it yet?
I'm back. Hello, everybody. Let's just move that out of the way. Hello, I'm back. By the sounds of it, everybody seemed to like that song. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna leave that up and give it a listen. It'll be in my playlist, won't it? Yeah. So yeah, I can close that. It'll be in my. I can go back to it and have a look. Or listen in this case. Pardon me. I'm really sorry about that tonight. I apologize. It's not nice to hear, I know. It's not nice to go through, but it's definitely not nice to hear. So where do we start regarding colour? So let's have a look at the chappie that's actually got colour. That might give us a help. See, I like a bit of funk. I like a bit of funk. I do need to fix my bass so I can start practicing again. So I do like a bit of funk. Now, I'm thinking I should do the fiery bits first and then come back and do everything else afterwards. So that means we start with Pro Acryl Yellow. Got to give it a good mix. I mean, I mixed it before I started the stream. I started coming out straight away. So yeah, I did mix it. I did shake it before I started the stream, but give it another shake just to make sure. Pop that out of the way for a moment and get which dry brush was I going to use for the yellow. It was going to be this one. Very slight little damp on it. Get my piece of cardigan because I'm not using my hands. Now, I don't want to dry brush this bit, do I? No, I actually want to paint this bit because I want it to go all the way down into the recesses and everything, don't I? I'm an idiot. I just got a dry brush out to do. Is it a dry brush? Yeah, it's a fucking dry brush, medium dry brush from Citadel to do actual painting with. No reason you can't, but I probably should have got what would have been more of a standard brush. So he's not got that wide flat tip. I mean, I do like this yellow. This yellow is good. You're getting good at that non-metallic metal, I've got to say, Twisted. It's a technique that I've not yet tried. I think it's just a little bit out of my wheelhouse at the moment. Although by the end of the year, I might be giving it a go. So we got the fur on the back of his neck. And then the fur at the back of his... Well, fur covering his ass, essentially. And around the sides there. And how far around does it come here? Just a little bit. There we go. Rinse and repeat on no rest. That would be a good idea, Francois, to try it on a larger model first. Problem is, most of my models are this scale. So the only real larger model I have is my Stomper. And I'm just reluctant in general to start painting that just because it's a huge model with lots of little bits on it that I'm not entirely sure what to do with some of them. Because it's so big, I want there to be colour on it, but if I put too much colour on it, it's going to look like a child's painted it. but if I leave too much black and silver on it, it's not going to have the effect that I want. So I'm really reluctant on my stamper. So maybe I should try it on the stamper then. Or maybe go back to one of like a Redemptor Dreadnought or something and try it on that. That might be the better option. Something that'll be easier to strip than a stomper, should I get it wrong. I'm yet to actually strip a model for getting it wrong, but I will do because I've done a few wrong. So we'll eventually come back to strip some of them, which is why I have BioStrip. But first, it'll probably end up being all my arcs that end up going in the tub, just to get all the paint off them so I can start scratch from that on them. Because there was a lot of bits for my arcs that need doing and re-putting back together. That'll probably happen around about the same time I get them with the Combat Patrol. I do have 2 of the Blackreach War Bosses and one of the old metal ones with the attack squig that's jumping off his hand. So it's got an attack squig and he's coming right off his hand there. Once you have this down, you have a better understanding of how. So yeah, practice the actual blending technique on larger ones and then incorporate the technique onto smaller ones. Right, okay, I get what you mean. And it does make sense now that I'm considering it in my head. I need clean water. I'd really do with some much cleaner water. Oh well. It shall suffice for tonight. It's not like the last water I had, which was pretty much black. I tipped it out and it was almost black ink. Sorry, I'm dropping off the bottom of the camera here. This is where Kirsty comes in handy with, so Rabbit Hole Library comes in handy because she usually tells me to keep it on camera. It does make it a little bit more difficult because I've not got my 3 points of contact to help steady my hand. But it keeps it nice and on screen for all of you to see. Let's face it, if I didn't want all you to see, I wouldn't be doing it on YouTube, would I? So let's make sure we get it all on. And it's after this stage when all the dry brushing goes on for the different layers. So we'll start moving up through the oranges and into the reds, and then eventually come up to the black at the top to get that effect. I've never thought of that. That's a good idea, that Francois. That is a very good idea. If you get enough in there, enough of the brown or the black in there, yeah, use it as a wash. Why didn't I think? You're a genius. Genius, I say. People can disagree with me if they want, but they'll be wrong. It does have its disadvantages being as conceited as I am sometimes, but yeah. In this case, if they argue, the wrong, Francois. You are a genius. It should work. In theory, it would work because when I tip my, because it's only a little paint pot, it's only a tiny little thing. If I can get the water to paint ratio right, just through, yeah, see, again, yeah, use it on terrain, anything. Oh, I really fucking painted half his face yellow then because I weren't paying attention. Yeah, anything that you can need that wash on that very thin layer. That's not a bad idea. That's a fucking good idea. In fact, his base might even get a wash with it, just so I can sort out some of the darker grey tones and make them a little more earthy. By the time I finish washing the reds and the oranges and the yellows and stuff out into the pot, it should have a brownish tinge to it. Stick that over some of the rocks and things. It is good. It's a good idea. Well, so I shall give it a test actually once I've got my water into a sufficient colour. Lots of yellow bits. Lots of yellow bits. I used to avoid yellow like the plague until I got this Pro Acryl stuff. The Eclectic Beard has got no idea how much he's changed my entire painting game just by buying me a few paints and shipping them over. He is awesome for that. Well, I do struggle getting Pro Acryl over here in the UK. You can get them, but there's not as many places that sell it and stock it as easily. With it being obviously a US company, it's far easier to get it over there. That being said, if anyone knows how to contact the Pro Acryl people, please get in touch with me. I wouldn't mind being sponsored. Oh, if you're quite, I know it wouldn't even be money that I'd want. I'd just want the paint range so I can tell everyone how great it is. Six. Let's move that a minute. 7. Pull you because you're in the way. You're going to make number 8. Well, by the time I finished tonight, there would have been blue, yellow, red, standard lead belcher, as well as bronze and oranges going through that section, going through the paint pot. So there should be quite a decent selection of pigment in there, as well as the tiny flecks of metallics. I think the only thing I'm missing out of all that lot is green, but I can always stick a bit of green in if I need to. And this is why we have to come back with the bloody thing, with the, what's it called? Contrast paint later. Just to tidy up, really. And get rid of some of that chalkiness that the ivory leaves behind when you dry brush it. A little too dry. Ooh. Well, this bit's going quick. I like this bit. And as many of you may have noticed, the longer my streams go, especially from the start, like that first hour and 40 odd minutes, as my nicotine levels drop, my hyperactivity goes up. So just warning you, if you start noticing me getting a little bit hyper and someone wants to pop in there, go for a cig or something, because you're getting a bit fucking uppity and you're getting a bit rowdy up there, mate. Remind me. Okay, so that's the yellow done. Now we want the Fire Dragon Bright. And I need something to get it out of the pot with. You'll do. Scoop of Fire Dragon Bright. Pop that there. I usually do let the brush, but the problem is once I dry it off, because I'm using card, it absorbs a lot of the water from it. So I end up with that chalkiness, which is why I usually use the back of my hand. But with having loads of blisters on the back of my hand, so I've got 2 up there from the same thing of how I got all those. It's called not wearing the protective shit that you're supposed to when you're dealing with really fine particles. Okay, so now we get a little bit of orange. I start mixing it with a little bit of yellow. Very light dry brush. And then quickly, while we've still got it, we go over this section. Oh, it's still reasonably wet. Come back, get a little bit more, only a tiny bit, and then in there as well. Again, repeat process until all 9 have been done. We want to keep some of the yellow underneath, but we want to make sure that the orange is building up as well. It takes fucking ages. Yeah, what was once the nice quick bit has now slowed down because of mixing paints. Ah, the funny. Good night, Graham. Thank you very much for calling up, mate, and having the chat with me. And obviously the promo code for everyone else to use. Thank you very much for that also. Oh, you're still a bit wet. No, I'll come back to you in a minute. How are you? You're all right. Good. I'm using the bigger dry brush here, but I will come back for a smaller dry brush to do the other bits. Although this covers quite a lot of it, and it's the mid-tone between the yellow and the oranges and the red. I don't want it too much so it doesn't overdo the yellow and oversaturate that, but I need to get it on there. And it's a very, very subtle difference. It wasn't washing that actually did it, Francois. It was making these bases, because I've cut them out of like 5 mil MDF, and then I've sanded it all around with sandpaper by hand. I wasn't using gloves, so as I'm sanding it off, it's all gone into my pores and stuff while I was sat outside. Dan, how the devil are you, Ring Dinker? Are you doing? In fact, I've still got a guest point set up for it here. I have. Sorry, people, just bear with me one moment. If Dan is willing to, I have not spoken to Dan in quite a while. He was gracious enough to let me on his channel. Are you just swinging through, man? No worries. But I have a guest slot still available. If you wish to use it, let me know. I have a guest slot. It goes right up at the top of the screen above me, and it blocks out where the red paint is, essentially. So don't worry. It's not like you'll be taking up the entire screen. But thank you very much. Is the knight still in one piece? I hope so. I hope Mini Arias hasn't accidentally dropped or something. Right, so some of these are drying quicker than others, which is not a good thing. But it is a thing, so we're going to have to deal with it. Oh, excellent. The knight is holding the shelf down. If anyone's wondering what knight I am referring to, it's on its own little playlist. It was a knight I did a while ago. Purchased from Ali, who everyone saw in the chat earlier, through Graham on Rogue Den Hobbies, and I painted it and shipped it over to them. So it was a 3-person collaboration in total. So if you wish to go watch that, that was me painting a knight in the theme of the Maryland flag. That was a nightmare, but I enjoyed it, but it was certainly something that I wasn't ready for and I didn't realize until I started. But I did it. I did what I classify as a reasonably good job. I'm sure there's painters out there that would have done it by far better. But yeah. That's one way to keep it safe, Dan. That is one way to keep it safe. It's in the office. You can't touch stuff in the office. It's the equivalent of my desk. Mini Laz doesn't touch things on my desk. Which you can see knives, models, paintbrushes, all sorts of dangerous stuff and fun stuff for a very young little boy. But no, he doesn't go near my desk because he knows not to go near Daddy's desk. So many breakable things on there. It is not worth it for him. When you're roofing a 7-8-year-old. I wish I'd have known that about a week ago, Francois. I really wish I'd have known that about a week ago. My hands wouldn't be stinging when I'm wearing gloves if that were the case. Because I wearing them gloves a minute ago is obviously causing my hands to get warm and not nice. So yeah, I've had to take them off to do this bit, but I've still got to use the card. Because last time I used my hand to do fire or the build-up of yellows through reds, I had to scrub my hand that much I ended up cutting it. Because the fucking paint won't come off. It was about 4 layers thick. Which is never a good thing. And you've got to get something equivalent to a pan scrubber to clean paint off your hand. It's a very subtle difference, isn't it? Just to show that there is a slight difference. I mean, there's very little difference, but this one's, yeah, it's definitely worth putting that small toned layer in between. Definitely worth it. I mean, I've got to go back over it yet with, it'll get darker and darker as I go up layers, but I'll also be doing less and less. I mean, the final layer of black might just be a swipe, 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 and that's it done. But yeah, I really wish I'd known about, well, just using protective gear in the first place, not being a dick, would have been a better idea, I suppose. Actually using my brain, which I do have one when I choose to engage it. It's just I don't seem to engage it that often. Apparently I'm dangerous. Not my words, somebody else's. But if I use my brains, I'm dangerous. No, thank you, Twisted. No, no. Although saying that, yeah, I was doing similar when I worked in a bakery, so I had to wear a fair old whack of things that covered your skin. And obviously, if I weren't freshly shaven, I have to wear one of them snood things. And yeah, every time it was wash your hands, put gloves on. Wash your hands, put gloves on. Wash your hands, put gloves on. It's like, God's sakes, my hands were getting so dry and cracked just because the amount I have to wash them. Right, so that's that stage. So now we need to move up into the Wild Rider Red with the orange. And then, no, orange first and then Wild Rider Red with orange. Whew. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 layers, give or take, just to do the fire or the lava thing. So we'll pull some of the Wild Rider out first, just so it's ready for when we need it. Clean off the brush. Oh dear, no. I'm glad I didn't have to do that. I mean, I was working in a bakery, so it was hot, but yeah, we didn't have to go quite that far. And again, I'd never like to work in that bakery again. If you ever get given the option, I would just, nope. No, thank you. It was horrible, especially in summer. Because all you've got surrounding you is pretty much, you're just surrounded by ovens at all times. So it wasn't pleasant by any stretch of the imagination. I know, it barely looks like I'm putting any paint on these things, doesn't it? I can see it in front of me. It is actually going on. It's just each layer is not much different from the rest. So there's very little shade change between each one. So every time I put another one on, you don't really notice it because the one underneath it kind of matches a bit, which in and of itself makes it difficult to know what you've actually done. That's 1, 2, 3. Let's come to this chappy. Chappy, there's a film I've not seen for a while. Although I did find out about Diantved from that film. And that's an interesting band. South African rap. Rather odd. Dun, 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 dun. Not done. So I may skip the Wild Rider and what's that orange called again? That's Wild Rider Red. What was the orange called? Oh, Fire Dragon Bright. That's the one. So I may skip the mixing stage of those two just to help a layer stand out a little bit more. Although I want that nice orangey yellow underneath. And then pick up the orange. There you go. That looks a lot better, actually. So if I would have skipped that mix stage, I probably would have got a better contrast out of it. Wipe off the excess. Also, if Dan is still listening, he is the closest thing we have in this community to a resident architect. So any structural questions, we usually throw them in his direction. But then again, he also has his own YouTube channels, such as Aries in the Nation, Rex Nation. I'm not sure if Embrace the Suck 21 is still going. I believe it is. Which is Dan and his friend Spencer. Got to meet Spencer. Nice guy. A little bit young-minded, but nice guy. And by young-minded, I mean you can tell that he didn't grow up in the 80s. I found people that grow up in the 80s certainly have an outlook of, fuck it, more often than not. Anyway, not born in the 80s usually doesn't have that attitude. Well, born after the 80s doesn't have that attitude, which is weird for me. I think everyone should have the fuck it attitude. And then just the last one with the orange. And then we move on to the red. Well, one of the reds. Okay, so if we work it roughly around about the same way, it should have dried and we should be all right from there. Okay. Let's just get rid of any extra. See, I'm not going to be bothered cleaning my paint on this one. Be cleaning my brush on this one. I'm just going to make sure I get all the paint off it, or the majority. Let's come back in for the red. Okay, and then we try and get just the tips as much as we can, just the high points, so we can leave yellow shining through. And I'm glad I did one first. I'm having to do 10 of these. I mean, doing 9 of them's relatively time consuming, but that one extra and not having a reference makes a big difference. because I've got him there now, so I can see where I need to build up and what I need to put where on these fellas. You can slowly see the change occurring. Slowly. So we'll come through that side now and start. So I need to get a look at, I need to be able to see it. It's looking right in front of me in the eyes, and it's still able to be seen on camera as well. So you can actually see what layers I'm building up through it. Otherwise, there's no bloody point in even mention it, really, is there? So there we go. It's all going to be covered up by the black by the end of it. I need to make sure I get enough on tips so that the black doesn't cover it and just tips it. Let's go back to this one. This layer of red is one of the more important ones. See, I could leave it at that red, actually. I might do. I might just leave it at that red and put the black over it. Because the Mephisto red's very dark. It is very dark. So it's not as easy to go uncover. But whereas this one's still quite bright, but has got that red. Obviously, it's got the red colour to it, and it's the tint there. Don't you even say you're that one, aren't you? You son of a gun. Or son of a bear in this case. Do not make me. You're going to make. Yep, I'm going to have to. God dang it. Where's my glue gone? You stand there a second. Where's something that I can snap that bit off with? Because that's just going to cause problems. That's right. Get a bit of glue in your finger. Make sure we snap all this residue glue off it so it doesn't cause it to run and go to places that I don't want it to go. There we go. We have freed the glue. So I'm just going to put a tiny, tiny drop if it'll let me. Come on. Because you can see it moving, can't you? You can see that bloody thing moving. There we go. So a tiny bit of glue. Make sure it gets in. And I'll leave that to stand. That one does have a pin through it, so it should be all right. He says, however, having to fix it once. And then having to come back and fix it again. Get the paint off and then catch your tips. And this is why I'm doing this first, so when I come back to clean all this section up afterwards, it's not that bad. I can clean it up. There we go. We are getting there slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. This might be a 2-breaker, this one, by the way. 2-breaker carrying on for a few hours. Because I do want the unit. Not necessarily the bases, but at least the models in a condition where I can look at it and go, right, okay, now let's sort the bases out. Pardon me. And they're all in a reasonable tabletop condition, so that should I get a game, not that I'm expecting one, but should I get a game before I get a chance to base them, I could still use them and they'll still be painted on the table. Yeah, it was a hot one, that Twisted. Factories are not fun at the best of times, and then when they make you in stupid heats, and because it's technically a kitchen, although very, very big, it doesn't follow the same laws as some of the other places for working in heat, so they can exceed the heat you can work in because of the nature of the business itself, which we've got to say is pretty damn shit. But when everyone else would get the day off because it's too warm, we didn't, because our working temperatures were classified as higher than everybody else's. Certainly not something I wish to go back to. Then again, if I wanted factory work around here, there is a few other options. I could go for dangerous chemicals if I wanted to. Which is always fun. Or work at the place my mum did. They wouldn't let me anywhere near it for insurance purposes, but that could always apply. And then Van Moor, just fun. This little chappy here. Very nice little chappy. This one has a full hammer that doesn't want to come apart, unlike him. He wants to be a pain. I might just end up removing his entire arm, painting up the spare one, and just gluing that on. Okay. That's the easy bit done. Easy bit. Is that the easy bit? Yeah, that was the easy bit. Now we need to get not that black because it's too runny. Oh, that does not sound like fun, Twisted. That does not sound like fun. And that is an empty black. Clever me. What about that one? Is that an empty black? No, this one's got paint in it. That's good. Yeah, no, it's not fun, is it? Essentially, there you go. There's an oven. Stand in front of it for 4 hours. Then we'll give you a break. And you've got to come and stand in front of it for another 4 hours. When you've got gloves on up to here just to make sure that you can put your arm into the oven and pull things out without burning yourself. It's not a good thing. Don't you just love that nice? I don't, but you might do. All right. Just rub off all the red. Again, I'm just going to use this brush because I'm going darker and darker each time. I don't really need to clean it that much. I just need to really go at it with the Master's brush soap when I do. And this is how we get the blackened ends on the fire. or on the lava pelt. Let's have a look. No, they're not too far off. You can see the red a bit more on that one. Well, each one of them is going to be slightly varied, so it shouldn't make a difference because there will be a difference in every single one as to how much red's coming through, how much yellow's coming through, and how much orange is coming through. As I've used the dry brush method to apply it. Ooh, the running one. And where's all the black gone? I thought I got more out than that. Apparently not. There we go. That should be better. See, he's a bit more yellow than orange on that one. Do. Where are we up to? This guy. I would have loved long tongues. Well, they would doing me pulling trays out. So it was gloves. Essentially, I had to wear a sack around each arm. That's the closest thing I can think of to call it, because it was pretty much just a sack with finger holes or finger slots. Don't get me wrong, it worked. I didn't feel the heat, but they were uncomfortable. They didn't bend very well. That's certainly won't want to go back and do it again. That and because I injured myself while I was there and they let me go. Dirty little fuckers. You have to get a worker who's working. Needs some time off because he injures himself on site. You let him go. That's a silly move. That's where when we took the American suing culture, came in handy. I didn't do bugger all while I was still employed, but as soon as they let me go, it was like, yep, claim. Your fault. Sort it out. Oh, I'm getting... So just bear with me 1 second, because I can only respond to this. I can only respond to this via this. And, well, I need to... This is a message. I can't type. I can't type in this situation. I can't even type. How do you spell finished? Doesn't start with a D, does it? No, it definitely doesn't start with a D. Found that out. Right. Let's give now I've got to give the brush a bit of a clean off because it's getting a bit thick. Is the brush is one way of putting it, I suppose. Thick. It's getting a bit gloopy and yeah. No, I need something to dry it on. Last time I used this, didn't I? I just did a bit there, bit of that. A bit of that. There we go. That's pretty much what I needed. I had to grab out glowing hot steel flat. Fuck that. Someone's asking me to stick my hand in glowing metal. Then no, the answer they're getting is do you fucking self. That's hot. That's like hot. That's not just a bit hot. That's burn your fucking skin off and your flesh off hot. So no thank you. You can do that yourself. That's just daft. Anything that requires you to remove molten or fucking red hot metal by hand and you're not being a blacksmith, that's a little bit worrying. I understand that dentures need setting and it's heat sensitive. It's a heat thing that sets it, but damn, man, that's something else. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be doing that. Lost what's what's the lost wax kitten? Oh, is that basically, yeah, once it goes in it forms and then the wax melts off due to, I think that's what you mean. Yeah, right, sorry. Yeah, the wax is the impression, but you then have to get rid of the wax to sort it out. And there goes my keyboard. So let's get this. See, what I may have to do is put a little bit of a red wash on there. I'm hoping I don't. I'm hoping I can come back and just give it a bit of a touch up and it'll be okay. As I said, I do want them all to have slight variance on them and the leader to stand out. Not only has he not got a helmet and he's got braids, but he's also got a slightly different flavy thing going on his back. Very slightly. He's got the extra layer of red, essentially. Some of these have had semi-covered. Pardon me again. Okay, if I keep doing this, I will end the stream because it's doing my head in and it's not nice for you to all listen to me doing that. So, I've only got a few more chances. Sort my neck out. Otherwise, I'm stopping the stream and I'll continue these next week with the blue and silver and weapons. Should probably have another drink is why. Yeah, centrifuges are awesome. The fact that they managed to turn it into a fairground ride is like fucking nuts. What we're going to do, we're going to use natural forces and we're going to just spin you like Muppets. And everyone goes, awesome, let's have a go. Or at least I did. Don't know about you lot, but I've had to go on one of those rides and I enjoyed it. Okay, so now we have the fiery bits. Let's clean the brush. Ah. Get a cup of tea. Can't forget the cup of tea. So even now, just looking at the little yellow bits, they do seem to go with him quite well. It'll go with him on the board. I just need to add the blue bits in so they'll fit in with the rest of the army. Or do I go for the red? I think I go for the red. I'm going to try to do the hammer. And then I can work in through the blues and the silvers from there. Wrong version. I needed that one. Because this one's got less in it, that's all. Don't need a lot of red because it's only going to be for the hammer. Or the hammer head, should I say. And I don't mean the hammer head as in the tower vehicle, I mean the head of the hammer. I just got confusing, even for me. I'm going to use as much paint as I can, so I'm going to take the paint off the end of the paintbrush first. And then, okay, so all the indentation bits, all the little square bits like them, I've done in the bronze, but all the rest of it I've done red. Well, that seems a much brighter red than the one I used. She's making me think I might have dry brushed the entire fucking model. So that means this is definitely going to need a wash of non-oil just to bring it back down to the same tone. What's the other hammer? Not wrong with having a bright, big red hammer, but I want it to be that more subtle red, ideally. So for now, just paint the entire head. What to do with the... Yeah. Okay. I think that's a big difference in... A very big difference in red. So that's definitely going to need... So these are all going to need a non-oil wash over the hammers. And then be... Oh, for God's sakes. This is why you should really keep a note of any paint recipes you use. Any techniques on certain bits and things like that. That way you don't get into the situation I'm in now where you're going, oh shit, how did I do that again? And which colour did I use to do that? And which colour did I use to do that? I mean, I've got the colours written down for the Eldar and for the Tyranids, but silly me didn't write them down for the Space Marines. But the Space Marines usually end up being my tester army for everything. I mean, you've got hundreds of the bloody things, you might as well use them as a tester army. Especially the tactical squads. I might start a strip of the tactical squads down and use them as practice pieces, seeing as they're no longer quite as viable as an option. Come on. Oh, now my back's starting to go. I need the gym. Doing the gym on these Mondays is not necessarily the best idea because I get tired and my body starts to ache. I really should plan these a lot better, shouldn't I? I've found tubs, so Thursday should be all right. Wednesday should be nice and easy because it's another 2 paints on that issue. So that should be fairly simple, he says, with not much confidence. I need to get used to doing this more. See, if I sat down more and actually did this, my body would probably get used to it. But because I only do it on YouTube, and this is the only time I actually sit down to do it, my body only gets used to it at this point. So it's not like it's actually getting used to it. It's just more, it's not as bad, but I don't get to go as long. So make sure I get hammers. I want a decent amount of colour on them to represent what's going to be there. Silver and blue and black, and silver, blue, black and bronze. Yeah, that's the one I've had to glue on, so his handle is all skew with now. Which isn't, oh, I'm not even on the camera. I didn't even realise then I wasn't even on camera. I am just block painting the entire head. I'll come back over it, as I said, with washes and the metallics afterwards. And oh boy, is it going to have to, might have to be a contrast paint at this to get it back down to that colour, and dry brush it with the Wild Rider. And there'll be many people going, you're only using one coat there. Yeah, I am. Because I want it to dry with some black showing through it. I don't want it to be bold red, ideally. I want it to be nice and chilled. Well, not nice and chilled, but nice and subtle and dark. Like that one. Not nice and bright like that one. Put a bit of blood and put a bit of red on the end, just to add to the detail later. Go around the spiky bit more. Try to avoid being rough. I don't fancy fixing more hammers. I only have one spare. And that may end up an old dickhead over there who keeps fucking losing his handle. Which means I'd have to do all this separately on the hammer. That one. You actually have a pick your glue up. So I do have a spare, just in case. But I'd rather not use it to replace a mishap. I'd rather use it to put onto an actual model to go, there you go, he's now got a hammer as well. Because it does make sense to stick something with a hammer in with them. So if I can convert one of my captains, here we're saying if. Of course I convert one of my captains. I've got 3 of the damn things unbuilt in Terminator armor. So I'll build one of them. And I'll change his power sword for, well, I'll change his storm bolter for a power fit, for thunder, for a hammer. And then I think I've got a spare, like, larger, more tower shield from the lieutenant's left. So I think I can give him that shield instead of one of these little bucklers. I mean, I like the bucklers on the Terminators, because it doesn't make it look quite as cumbersome. But a big tower shield on a captain's better. Yeah, I've noticed they've resculpted the drop pod as well. I think they only did they release that today? Did they show us that? I can't remember if it was today or yesterday. I didn't see it until like 7 o'clock this evening, so it could have been either. By that point, they could have had it on today and then just last things, or it could have been Sundays. But they've not changed it much. They've just kind of give you some scenery flooring to put round. If you drop them open, just kind of give you some scenery to put round the open drop parts. Other than that, it's the same bloody drop pod. Instead, I think they're going to sell it in packs of 2, which God knows what price that's going to put on it. I mean, they were 30 odd quid for one anyway, so if it's less than £50 for the 2, then it's going to work out cheaper than the old drop pods. If it's more in line for the £60-70 for the 2, then it's going to be fucking expensive to replace them all. To replace them, I've got 1 drop pod and I don't use it because I've only got 1. Which means it has to come in on the first turn, which isn't always the best thing for it. Because sometimes you want it to drop second turn, you want them to be able to move a little bit because it has guidance. It's like, yeah, it comes in. Especially if you're playing old rule. Oh, some of the older rules like 7 where you can have deep strike mishaps and lose an entire unit just because you scattered. Those drop pods were good then because they had a guaranteed they were coming in even if they scattered. You got to move it the minimum amount to get it on the board. Now I just don't think it's as losing a lot of its special rules and its abilities. Just turn it into a static transport. I'm not as happy with how the rules have worked with that. Because it is just a static transport now. It comes in, you get out, you can't even get back in it for any protection. So it comes in, you get out, and that's it. You spent what, 65 points, is it? Or is it 90 points? Just for something that can go thunk once. And half of them come in your first turn anyway. So even if you wanted to hold out all of them for turn 2 or turn 3, no, you fucked. Half of them come in on turn 1. Drop pod assault. Yeah, fuck off. I want them to come in turn 2 and turn 3, not turn fucking 1. So why are you making me bring half of whatever I've got rounded up? So if you've only got 1, you round it up. You 1, that only one comes in first time. And you can still, as far as I read, you can still have it closed and not use those little embellishments on the doors. Or if you want to have it open, then you can put the little bits of terrain underneath where the doors opened. I've glued mine shut. Mine's always closed. But I've not painted mine either. Mine's still technically grey. I've got it off a heavy smoker, so it's kind of not nice. I mean, I know I smoke, but I don't smoke in the house, so it doesn't actually get onto my models, which luckily. If you smoke in the house around these things, yeah, they turn horrible colours. So I need to. I mean, it's literally just there next to my PC at the moment. I'm using it as a paperweight for a few medical documents. But I'm going to need to give it a nice hot soapy bath when I come around to it. It should be okay. So, a soft enough sponge. And then I can give it a good clean off with washing up liquid or bleach or flamethrower. Well, flamethrower might just get me overdosed on nicotine. Maybe not that method then. Well, I can definitely clean it up. I've just got to bother my ass doing it, essentially. And once I clean it up, it'll be mostly spray paint and airbrush to get that one ready. I'm not saying that I've got more vehicles to worry about than just a drop pad at the moment. I've got to finish off my Russes that I now have. Finish off the Baneblade that I now have. God, I've got more models than I realised, and it's only been over the last month or two. And I've not even spent as much as you'd think to get that. A lot of it's been donated. The entire Guard army was donated to me. And there's like fucking 40 infantry, including the Tempesta Scions. And fucking 6 Lehman Russes, a Baneblade, 2 Chimeras, a Taurox. There's loads to that army. We've got a set of heavy weapons squads with heavy bolters and a set with las cannons. There's another 6 bases. And I'm sure I have other stuff in sprues that I can use. Whew. Right. My back is sore. My back is sore. Right. So this being the template of what I need to get it up to. That's including glowy red eyes, blue sections, silver sections, all the trim, and all the silver bit. So far, so to compare the two, the hammer's not the right colour. I need to do the blue and the silver trims. I need to do the clothy bits. And I need to do the metallic bits on the hammer. Then I need to give a bit of a contrast. And they will be done. However, my back can't take this anymore. Even with my little cushion behind me, that helps. However, I must say, this as a set, let's just move you all around a bit so I can pop the only one that's close to being finished at the front. Let's have a bit of a move around. So, yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to shine a light in your eyes then. Sorry. So there we go. Now that I'm looking at the bear, there's actually a couple of things I would like to actually touch up. This is the good thing about having been able to come back to things and look at them. Did I bring a thinner one out than this? No. Do I have a thinner one? Of course I bloody do. I have a very thin one somewhere. There it is. The literal tiny one. So get in the eye section there. Make sure I pick out the eyes for this bear because it's quite hard to see them. There we go. Raw. Just pop him. Get off Stop trying to pick up every model that goes near you, please. So we now have nice big bear, and those will be the 10 Terminators that go with it. I just need to finish them off, and I am not in a physical condition right now. My back is sore. My head is mashed. I'm not entirely sure what to do with this ass. So, yeah. I'm going to call it quits there for tonight. Thank you very much for everybody who's come to spend time with me. Please, if you are going to use anything from Rogue's Den, buy anything from Rogue's Den Hobbies, remember that little pinned comment I've got in the comment section. Laz 10, or capitals for the Laz, for 10% off at checkout. If you've liked what I've been doing tonight and you want to come back and watch next week and not miss it, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, anything like that. The usual YouTube stuff to help with the algorithm. You don't have to, but it does help. Until then, though, next live with you all, I believe we should be due to on Wednesday when I cover the next combat patrol, which is 2 paints. On Thursday, I have a pot, so I can now finish the base layer on the Magical World, Sparkle and Oak, and I have organized more time so I can get back on track with that. So until Wednesday or Thursday or next Monday when we see each other next, thank you very much. I've been Laz as always. Drive safe, everyone. I'll see you again.